Hey, this is Elliot with Overtone Labs. In this video we'll be talking about the filter mode or filter function of the TuneBot drum tuner. Basically what the filter mode does is it eliminates misreadings from the tuner. First I should explain how the drum works really quickly. There's three main pitches that come out of the drum. There's the fundamental pitch, which is both heads moving up and down in unison. And this is the loudest and lowest pitch that your drum produces, and it's most prominent when you hit in the center of the drum. Aside from the fundamental, you have two higher overtones, one coming from the top head and one coming from the bottom head. And while the fundamental is both the heads moving up and down like this, the overtones are the head moving across like in a wave-like form. So these higher overtones are maybe 30 to 100% higher than the fundamental, depending on how you tune your drum. And these overtones are important because they're what we're concerned with when we're matching the lugs or clearing the drum head, getting the drum head in tune with itself, whatever you want to call it. This is the pitch that we're concerned with. And now we're ready to go. So I can hit near any lug and get a reading, and just hit it an inch in from any lug I choose, and 274. So I happen to know that that's probably a correct reading, or definitely a correct reading, because that's the range that the snare drum head would usually be in. It might be anywhere from, most people would probably tune it anywhere from 250 to maybe 380, and then usually the bottom head would be tuned a little bit higher. Whereas the fundamental right now is probably more around 180. I can just hit in the center to measure the fundamental. 187. Okay. Yeah, so 274. I can go to the different lugs and get different measurements for each individual lug. 275. Okay, so far it seems like we're getting correct readings even without the filter mode, so that's great. We'll just hit some other lugs and see if we might get a misreading, so I can show you guys how the filter mode works. 275, 277, 275, 275, 35. So we got some misreading that's a lot lower than what we were looking for. It just kind of confused the tuner there. But we can avoid that kind of thing by using the filter button. So what I'll do is I'll hit near this lug. Hopefully we'll get a reading in the 270 range, a correct reading. Oh, we got another misreading, 187. 275, okay, so that's a correct reading. Now I'll press filter, and now you'll notice when I go back to these two lugs that were giving us misreadings before, I'm going to get actually a correct reading. Okay, so now I'm only getting readings that are within plus or minus 20% of 275, because I got a measurement of 275 hertz. Then I press filter. You can see the star appears right here, and then 275 pops into this top corner. So whatever number is in this top corner, it'll be limiting future measurements plus or minus 20% of that. A common question is, and a good question is, well, how do I know what the proper pitch is in order to set the filter mode? That's a great question, because if you don't know what pitch you're looking for, then how are you going to know when to press filter mode, the filter button? If you press the filter button and after you turn it on and set it to 0, it won't do anything. If you set the filter to the fundamental pitch, then you'll actually be doing yourself a disservice, because you'll only be able to measure the fundamental, and it won't be useful for matching the lug pitches. So the easiest way for me to figure out what's the proper reading is just to hit a few lugs, and usually 9 out of 10 of them will be correct. So most of the readings were around the 270 range, so it seemed pretty obvious to me. Also, the more you tune, you'll have a better idea of what to expect. Another method you could use, is pretty simple, is if you're having trouble and you're picking up the fundamental pitch and you're trying to pick up the top head overtone, you could press lightly in the center, and this mutes the fundamental, It basically does the same thing as if you were to place the drum on a stool or carpet. And then we can hit, I turned off filter, and then we can hit near the lug. And remember, before I got that 180 there, which was the fundamental. Now the 180 is suppressed because I pressed lightly there, and we get the proper reading, 275. And then I press filter. Another thing I should note is every time you move to a different drum or to a different head, that you need to reset the filter. So if I was going to flip this drum over and tune the bottom head, of course I need to turn filter off, flip it over, and then get the new reading, and then turn filter on again, because if it's set to 274 or 275 and the other head's at 360, then I'm never going to get that initial correct reading. So remember, whenever changing more than 20% or switching heads, switching drums, you got to reset the filter. So that's pretty much it. I hope that was really useful, and I hope you guys understand how that works now.